In this video, I'm going to talk about CIS18A Lab 5 Exercise 1. We are to create a program that contains a package. So to start this, what you need to do is you need to get a location so you can use desktop or another location on your drive. Here I choose to use my C drive, and in the C drive I simply create a new folder and I call it book pack. This needs to match the exact name of your package name. So make sure that it is the exact spelling, otherwise, because it's case sensitive, it will catch error. In the folder, what we will have is we would have a book.java file, and that will be the first part of your code. So when you're looking at the lab document, you would take the first part, the first class, and that will be your book.java file. So now, once you have the book.java file created, so in this file, you simply state that there is a package called bookpack, and it's the exact name as our folder. We have the class book, and in our title, we would use a string. For author, we would also use a string, and pub date, which is the publication date, that will be integer data type. Inside, the next part is your parameter that you would created. So string T is going to represent title, A is going to represent author, and pub date is D. And these are the objects that we're going to implement inside our program. Now for the show, what we want is we want to create a method called void show. And in this method, we simply display title, author, and publication date. And that is the first file. So we're going to go ahead and click File, Save As. And we want to call this book.java. Click Save. Then we will create a second file in Notepad, and in this file we will call it book demo, and this is the second class. So you can simply create all in one file and call it book demo, or you can start with book demo as a second class. So in the second class I have book demo, and inside this class I have the main method. Then I would implement the object with the book data, the book type, and the object for my array is called books. So in this array we would have 5 elements that can, well, each element is going to represent one book, and we would start with the index 0, go to index 4 for our 5 elements. So each of the element, we would assign it the string to represent the title and the author, and you would separate that by the comma, and then the integer, which is the year number, for our pub date. So once we initialize each of the element, what we want to do is we want to create a for loop that's going to access each of the element in that array. We would start with the first index, which is index 0 for the first element, and we would go to the length of the array, which is the total number of the element, to the end of that array. So it's going to reach up to the end of that array, and we're going to increment as it updates for each loop. Now we want to do a book I.show. We're going to call on the method that we created earlier here, and we want to show each book by using the index from the array. So once you create this file, you can go ahead and click File, Save As. And we want to put it in the book pack folder, and we want to call this bookdemo.java. Once you have the files created, then you can open up command line and compile and run the program. So in my command line, when I first open it, I need to navigate to the location of my folder. So if you put it on desktop, you can change directory to desktop. And you need to be in desktop in order to compile. You don't need to get inside that folder. Since I put it on the C drive, I can go ahead and do cd ... And I would do that a couple of times to get back to the C drive. Once I'm in the C drive, I can simply issue the javac command to compile my program. And for bookpack, we want to state the folder name. For bookpack, we want to state the folder name and then the file name, because the file is in the location of the folder, so you're going to point it to the path where that file would be in your computer. So after I compile successfully, I want to issue the Java command, and we want to do the same thing by pointing it to the folder and then the file name. So as you can see, we have completed our program. So the things that we need to focus on in this particular exercise is, number one, create a folder where that package would be. And since the package is in a different file, we want to make sure that that package is together with your program file inside the folder. Then when you run the program, when you compile the program, you want to make sure that you point it to the path where that file is stored, which is inside the folder. Once it's compiled, what we want is we want to run the program by doing the same thing using the Java command, point to the folder and the file name without its extension.